Welcome back to the Clever Pixel channel. Today, we're diving into the bizarre, the baffling, and the downright unbelievable world of international law. From chewing gum crackdowns to suspiciously handled salmon, we're taking you on a global tour of legal oddities that'll leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about the world. So buckle up, grab your passport. Not really, you can't leave the house, remember? And get ready to be amazed, amused, and maybe even slightly terrified. Let's get started. Number 1. First up, we're heading to the famously clean streets of Singapore, a city known for its impeccable cleanliness and strict regulations. And by clean, I mean really clean. We're talking about streets that sparkle and shine, thanks to the tireless efforts of street cleaners and the city's rigorous maintenance routines. Like, you could eat off the sidewalk clean. It's almost as if the sidewalks are polished to perfection every single day. But that pristine pavement comes at a cost, my friends, because in Singapore, chewing gum is basically public enemy number one. The city has taken extreme measures to ensure that gum doesn't tarnish its spotless image. That's right, since 1992, the Singaporean government has waged a war on Wrigley's with an iron fist, banning the import and sale of chewing gum entirely. This ban was a bold move to combat the sticky situation. The official reason? Gum litter. The authorities were fed up with the mess caused by irresponsibly discarded gum. Apparently, the powers that be decided that their citizens were incapable of disposing of their chewed gum responsibly. They believed that a ban was the only way to maintain the city's pristine condition. And look, I get it, nobody likes stepping in a wad of discarded gum. It's a nuisance that can ruin your day and your shoes. But a nationwide ban? That's some next-level commitment to cleanliness. Singapore's dedication to keeping its streets spotless is truly unparalleled. The good news is, if you're absolutely desperate for a stick of juicy fruit, you can still find it in pharmacies. However, it's not as simple as just picking it off the shelf. But be warned, you'll need a prescription. Yes, you heard that right. In Singapore, even chewing gum requires a doctor's note. Now that's what I call strict. Number 2. Next up, we're off to Switzerland, land of chocolate, cheese, and apparently, some very strict bathroom etiquette. Because in the land of the Alps, when the clock strikes 10, the toilets go silent. That's right, my friends. In Switzerland, it is illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. in apartment buildings. The reasoning behind this auditory assault ban? Noise pollution. Apparently, the Swiss take their sleep very seriously. But is a rogue toilet flush really that offensive? Apparently in Switzerland it is. So if you find yourself in Switzerland after 10 p.m. with a pressing need to flush, you might want to hold it in. But don't come crying to me when the Swiss noise police come knocking. Number 3. Now, we all know that death comes for us all eventually. But in some small towns in Italy, death has apparently decided to take an extended vacation. You see, in these towns, it is literally illegal to die. The reason? Overcrowded cemeteries. Apparently, these towns ran out of space for the dearly departed and decided that the easiest solution was to just outlaw death altogether. Now you might be thinking, but John, how do you enforce a law like that? And the answer is, well, they don't really. It's more of a symbolic gesture, a way of saying, hey death, we're a little full up right now. Could you take your business elsewhere? But still, imagine getting pulled over for speeding in one of these towns and the officer sees you're dead. Number 4. Hold on to your berets because we're off to France, where the baguettes are long and the laws are even longer. And one of those laws, my friends, involves pigs, specifically naming them Napoleon. That's right, in France, it is illegal to name your porcine pal after the infamous French emperor. The reason behind this bizarre law dates back to the early 19th century, when Napoleon Bonaparte ruled France with an iron fist. Apparently, some people took offense to the comparison between their beloved emperor and a barnyard animal. Napoleon was a complex figure, a brilliant military strategist, a ruthless dictator, and a surprisingly short man. A pig, on the other hand, is just a pig. Number 5. Next, we're crossing the English Channel to the United Kingdom, a land of tea, crumpets, and apparently some very specific legislation regarding fish, specifically salmon, and even more specifically, handling salmon suspiciously. This law was actually put in place to prevent illegal fishing. Apparently, back in the day, poachers would try to sneakily snag salmon from rivers without getting caught. But the law itself is so vaguely worded that it's practically begging for misinterpretation. What exactly constitutes handling a salmon suspiciously? Is it the way you look at it? Is it the way you look at it? Maybe it's the way you hold it, or perhaps it's the context in which you have the fish. Do you need to be wearing a fake mustache and sunglasses to make it truly suspicious? Maybe a trench coat? The world may never know. The ambiguity of the law leaves much to the imagination. But one thing's for sure, this law is a gift that keeps on giving for comedians, and anyone who's ever wanted to see a police officer chase a man with a fish. It's a scene straight out of a comedy sketch. Number 6. G'day mates! We're headed down under to Australia, land of kangaroos, koalas, and apparently some very strict fashion police. Because in the land of Oz, if you're caught wearing hot pink pants after midday on a Sunday, you're in for a world of trouble. This law is actually a holdover from the 1930s, and while it's still technically on the books, it's rarely enforced. But still, the fact that it exists at all is enough to make you wonder what those lawmakers were smoking. Was there a sudden surge in hot pink pant-related crime back in the 30s? Did a rogue flock of pink flamingos terrorize the streets of Melbourne? The world may never know. Number 7. Next stop, Japan, the land of the rising sun sushi, and apparently some very strict guidelines on body mass index. Because in Japan, being overweight isn't just a health concern, it's practically illegal. In 2008, the Japanese government implemented the Metabo Law, which sets maximum waistline measurements for its citizens. The goal of the law is to combat obesity and related health problems, which is a noble goal, don't get me wrong. But the methods are, shall we say, a little invasive. Imagine going to the doctor for a checkup and being told, "Sorry, sir, you've exceeded the government-mandated waistline limit. Prepare to be downsized." It's enough to make you want to swear off ramen forever. Number 8. Hold on to your toques because we're headed to Canada, land of maple syrup, politeness, and apparently some very specific rules about how much change you can use in a single transaction. Yes, you heard that right. Canada, known for its friendly demeanor and breathtaking landscapes, has some quirky laws that might surprise you. That's right, my friends. In Canada, you can't just go around paying for things with a bucket full of nickels. There's actually a limit to how many coins you can use in a single purchase. There are limits, people. Limits. And these limits are not just suggestions. They are enforced by law. The reason behind this law is actually quite practical. It's meant to keep transactions smooth and efficient, preventing any unnecessary delays. It's designed to prevent businesses from being bogged down by customers trying to pay for a pack of gum with a sack of pennies. Imagine the chaos if everyone decided to pay with mountains of small change. But still, imagine the scene. You're at the grocery store, you've got a cart full of poutine and Nanaimo bars, and you decide to pay with your life savings of loose change. The cashier's eyes widen as you start counting out coins. Suddenly, the cashier calls the manager calls security, and before you know it, you're being arrested for excessive change usage? It sounds absurd, but it's a real possibility. It's enough to make you want to pay with a credit card. So next time you're in Canada, maybe leave the piggy bank at home and stick to plastic. Number 9. Next stop, Thailand, land of smiles, temples, and apparently a deep respect for currency. Because in Thailand, stepping on money is a big no-no. It's not just considered rude, it's actually illegal. The reason behind this law is rooted in Thai culture, where money is seen as a representation of the king, whose face adorns every bill and coin. So, stepping on money is basically like stepping on the king's face, which, as you can imagine, is highly disrespectful. So, if you're ever in Thailand and you see a stray baht bill on the ground, do the right thing, pick it up and treat it with the respect it deserves. Or, just hand it over to me. I'll make sure it's taken care of. Number 10. And finally, we're ending our journey in Samoa, a beautiful island nation in the South Pacific where the beaches are pristine and the laws are, well, let's just say memorable. Because in Samoa, forgetting your wife's birthday is more than just a marital faux pas, it's actually against the law. That's right, gentlemen, if you want to stay on your spouse's good side and out of jail, you better mark those calendars. Maybe they have a special police unit dedicated to sniffing out forgetful husbands? Or maybe it's just one of those laws that everyone knows about but nobody really takes seriously. Either way, it's a good reminder that in Samoa, family is everything. So there you have it, folks. 10 crazy laws from around the world that prove that truth is often stranger than fiction. And who knows, maybe these laws have inspired you to take a closer look at your own country's legal system. You might be surprised at what bizarre and baffling regulations you find lurking in the shadows. But for now, we'll leave you with this thought. Next time you're tempted to break the law, just remember, it could always be worse. You could be facing down a hefty fine for chewing gum in Singapore, or a night in jail for flushing your toilet after 10 p.m. in Switzerland. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more interesting content.